Last month, fans of the Israeli soccer team Maccabi Tel Aviv were banned from watching a game at Aston Villa in Birmingham, England. Well, now new leaked evidence reveals something nefarious was actually going on. Israel Matters' Stephen Briggs joins us now. Stephen, what can you tell us?
Well, can you believe this, Raj, that fans of a soccer team, or in England, a football team, the original football, I might add, were banned from being at their team's game in Aston Villa in Birmingham in the UK. And they based that reasoning on intelligence reports that are now largely being discredited. This is a huge revelation because it seemed to me at the time that this was a bad move for England as a whole when we live in 2025 and fans of a team are being banned from attending any stadium, any public event. This is a slippery slope. And so what is this intelligence that is now coming out? Well, the Dutch authorities that were cited at the time by the West Midlands Police are now being have shown that that's not really what happened. The Justice and Security Inspectorate and Amsterdam Police have contradicted the claims that Israeli fans perpetrated large-scale violence in Amsterdam, noting actually that they were the targets of anti-Israel agitators instead. And there's a Nick Timothy MP. He was Theresa May's aide at one point in when she was Prime Minister. Raised this, that journalists were have accused the British police of fabricating or exaggerating evidence, possibly due to political pressure from local officials seeking boycotts of Israeli teams. And there was footage from the match day which shows hostile attitudes towards Jews in Birmingham, with some locals openly supporting that ban and expressing anti-Semitic sentiments. The controversy has actually resulted in parliamentary questions, investigations, and demands for full transparency, with calls for accountability from the police, council, and national authorities, including the fact that Dutch officials did not recognise the alarming figures that were cited by West Midlands Police. So there is something going on, something amiss here that seems to indicate that there are police claims that are not actually factually accurate. And the mayor of Amsterdam explicitly stated that she didn't recognise the figures attributed to the Dutch by the West Midlands Police.
So it seems like you just connect some dots here that stuff was kind of fudged intentionally to bar Israeli and Jewish soccer fans from attending a game in the UK. Am I missing something?
Oh, that's what it would appear. It appears that they used the Dutch, they claim that the Dutch had deployed 5,000 officers in the game where Maccabi were playing Ajax in Amsterdam. And that is being proved not to be the case. The Dutch police have said it was maybe 1,200 that were deployed. So the evidence and the statements that have been made are being discredited as we speak. And the consequence of this is a big issue, because when you are living in a country and it becomes a no Jews can attend, no Maccabi Tel Aviv fans can attend, citing the fact that they are saying that, the Maccabi Tel Aviv team shouldn't even be being allowed because they have served in the IDF. That is racism and anti-Semitism being expressed by society. So this is a major issue, and it's one that I'm glad that there is evidence that is coming out that is disputing what excuses were made in the first place. Indeed, we need the stuff that is done in the darkness to be brought out into the light.
Well, Stephen, both you and I are Gentile Jesus followers. We're Christians, but we both have a heart for Israel and the Jewish people. And when you see stuff like this happening, I wish this was a one-off, but it seems like just this avalanche of explicit Jew hatred has just exploded. Not just exploded online and exploded in places like Boulder and Manchester, all these other places, but it's become normalized again. Like 1930s anti-Semitism on Twitter is just normal again. Like you can have like the crooked nose faces and the Jewish octopus over the world, and it's just like normal again. Like literally the exact same posters, the exact same blood libels of the Middle Ages, drinking Christian blood in matzo balls, soup or whatever used to be said. not in moss ball suit, but in different rituals. I mean, it's just like normal again. Here we are, like where the groundwork that was put in place that allowed the Holocaust to happen is just okay now again. So I guess the question is, how should we be processing this just wave of anti-Semitism that's not just happening, but also being kind of okayed? It's getting a certificate of like, it's normal now.
Well, this is not a new hatred. This is the oldest hatred in history. And so we have to recognize there is a distinctive between what took place historically, in that the Jews were persecuted in nation states that were not their own. Now they have a homeland. That anti-Semitism, that hostility is aimed at the only free democratic society in the Middle East. And so you've got a contradiction that is going on now where people can target their anti-Semitism, their hatred, their hostility, not just to the people, but actually to a geographical place as well. And by implication, a government, by implication, an entity that has to have all of the basic needs of society and life, from food, water, security, everything that is needed, transportation, now that is directed directly at a nation state. So this increase in anti-Semitism that we're seeing globally, and we're seeing it on places like eBay and Etsy and Amazon with products that are now being sold saying globalize the Intifada and death to the IDF. These words of hatred that are being expressed in the very fabric of what people are wearing, that's a real concern. Because where does that hatred stop, and what are you inciting in that process, and why are corporations embracing that? Now, in the West Midlands, coming back to this story with regard to Aston Villa, in the lead up to it, there was actually real estate agents that were actually having we do business differently and pro-Palestine stuff within their shop. So it's become not merely political, but it's actually being embraced by a society as a whole.
Really scary stuff. Stephen Briggs, I appreciate your time, my brother.
Thanks for having me.